And all right, just getting people going. All right, welcome in to another edition of Heart to Heart with Dr. Tartt. I'm Dr. Tartt joining you almost every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Let's have a meeting or something. So I'm glad to check in with you all. I love it. I see y'all coming in the room. I see y'all excited about it. I see you, Alice. I see you, Sharika. I see you, Mel. I see you, Yoni. I see you, Rose. I see y'all coming in. Whole heart. I see you, Jane. All right, I see you all. We have a great topic today. Hey, I see you, Bakar. I see you all the way from the UK. I love it. I love it. So I'm excited. I'm excited, y'all. So listen, today let's dive in, y'all. Let's dive in. All right. Did y'all see that interview? So today we're talking about, should men consider getting married? Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Teresa Hardy in the building. Should men consider getting married? I see people logging in. The Queen is logging in from H-Town. Yes, should men consider getting married, y'all? I did an event yesterday. And I met with, I spoke to, it was like half the room was single, half the room was married. It was a Valentine's Day event. Very, very well pull off. It's rare that you see an event where you see singles and married in the same event and it be pulled off. So shout out to Tony, who was able to pull that off. And I had an amazing time. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. But here's the thing. I talked to men afterwards, right? And a number of men came up to me and said, yo, 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 yo. I got married. Y'all. I got married. All right. Because I want to pose the question. Let's slow down a little bit. Let me slow down and pose the question. Do you think men should get married? Do you think men, especially older men, should get married? Is it better for men to get married? And the reason I ask this question is that in the media, we hear so much about men considering marriage the ball and chain, right? Our men want to be single, our men want to be players, our men don't want to be locked down, right? And we see that so much perpetuated in the media, but in reality, in real life, it is just the opposite. It is the complete and total opposite, right? I want y'all to watch this. Now that y'all are in, right? Now that y'all are in, I'm gonna talk about that, Rose, right? I'm gonna talk about that, right? Should married men get older? Especially men consider getting married. Here we go. All right, I want y'all to see something. I'm gonna turn this around. All right, let me do this. I want y'all to watch this.
You married?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
I'm looking to get about. Hey, I'm about to be 55. I'm about to be double nickel.
Double nickel, yeah?
Double nickel. So
What you think about it though?
I want to get.
Wait. Let's pretend these cameras ain't here.
Yeah.
It's me and you,
Yeah.
Bob Shop. I've been talking like they ain't here anyway. What your views on marriage? What do you think?
I would have loved to have gotten married earlier in my career, but my career was the most important thing. So I was no good. I was a terrible father. I probably was a terrible brother, a terrible son. I definitely was a terrible boyfriend because football was the most important thing.
Right.
I was consumed with that. And I was consumed with that because I wanted to get my grandmother and my family out of the conditions that I grew up in. And I said, if I had kids, I didn't want them to spend 1 hour, let alone a year like I spent. So I focused on that. That was the only thing that mattered.
Right.
And I had a lot of women say they could be okay with being with number 2 to football. But when it came right down to it and they see how devout I was in it, they couldn't be.
Right.
And I said, okay. But now I started to realize as I've gotten older in my life, everything that I've accumulated doesn't mean anything if I don't have anybody to share it with. And it took me spending time alone to realize that, yes, Shannon, you're great at what you do. You're in the Hall of Fame. You accomplished a lot. But at the end of the day, who do you share it with?
You married?
Boom. There it is, y'all. There it is. Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer. Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer. Right there, y'all. He said it. All right. Oh, someone said they couldn't hear it. All right. So I'll try and do that again, just towards the end, so y'all can see it. So listen, listen, y'all, listen. So basically, if you didn't see that, because I know you can see it on Instagram and some other thing, whatever, there was a glitch or whatnot. But it basically was Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer, saying Ocho Cinco was asking him why you're not married, and he said, "I'm 55." Right. And I was a terrible boyfriend, terrible father, focused on football, just focused on being the best. And now that I'm getting older, I don't have anyone to share my life with. And I'm realizing that maybe that was a mistake. I can tell you almost all men think that way the older they get, right? I didn't say all, almost all men. All right, Rose said it earlier. Did you know that there's three advantages for men according to the research? All right, there's three clear advantages. One, married men live longer. Married men live longer. Did y'all know that, right? So if you look at life insurance companies know that, right? Sports teams know that. I'm just telling you, people know that. Health companies know that, right? Married men live longer. Why? Because their wives make sure that they're healthy by and large. What's your body mass index? What are your numbers? What are you eating? Should you lose some weight? And make sure you go to the doctor. Have you had your annual physical? Am I right, ladies? Right? Like someone said, Billy D said in Mahogany, success is nothing without someone you love to share it with, right? So they're happier, right? So one, they're healthier because wives take care of them. Like, what are you eating? You eating chicken again? Are you really 57 years old eating pork chops 3 times a week? Hold up, you're eating Boston rump roast twice a week. It's not a barbecue, right? You're drinking soda at 55 years old, right? I mean, you smoking hookah in your 50s? You shouldn't be smoking anyway. I'm just being honest. I mean, the hookah studies are clear. It's like worse than nicotine. But the marketing has people. I'm like, I see my friends smoking, like, bro, you're trying to die. You say you don't smoke, but you do hookah. That's even worse. Anyway, so like wives are looking and saying, don't do that, right? And they're taking care of you. A good wife will be taking care of you, at least asking, are you working out? What are your cardiovascular numbers? Hey, then you have a family history of autoimmune disease. Shouldn't your immune system, shouldn't you be on that vitamin D? Shouldn't you be on that vitamin D plus K2? Shouldn't you be taking some echinacea, some zinc, some sea moss, some exercise, some getting some daylight? This is what a woman is telling her married husband. I hear it daily. I hear it daily. Hey, don't you think you should take some time off? Don't you think you should get a massage? Don't you think you should de-stress? Don't you think you should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night and stop grinding? This is what people are saying. All right. All right. Dr. Mark says, I admire him for not bringing a woman into his life when she wouldn't have been a priority. I do too. Right. But he's realizing that was a regret. That was a mistake because as you talk to older men, and I see them in this office and I see them out in public. Yesterday, I saw a 72-year-old man marrying, no, 72-year-old woman who's getting married to a 78-year-old woman in October this year. I saw them at an event yesterday. And another man came up and he was in his late 60s and I asked him how long they've been married. And he said they only been married 7 years, right? He got married later in life. And what you'll see, even if you look at the US Census data, is that most men are married. Most men, as they get older, marry. I'm not saying all, right? And matter of fact, you'd be surprised at how many women, especially women of color, actually get married after 50. Right? You'd be surprised. I know it because I officiate weddings. I know it because I do premarital counseling, right? And you don't see this because they're not on Facebook. Older senior adults are not on Facebook, not on Instagram, not heavy like that, not posting their personal business at least. But they're getting married. Officiants know that. Churches know that, right? Companies know that. And people get, wow, they want to share their world with someone, right? And so I talked about this last week. Harvard did a study, a longitudinal study that from it was in Boston, 724 teenagers, I think all male. I'm pretty sure they were all male. Were tracked from 17 until death, and they asked them every 5 years about 2-year increments of their life, right? What makes you happiest? And it was the quality of their relationships. Now, it wasn't just romantic relationships; it was relationships with friends, relationships with family, relationship with colleagues. But when it boils down to getting older and work is gone, And to a certain degree, family is gone, right? Kids have gone off to go to college, or you didn't have kids, or family's gone, your brothers have gone on to be with the Lord, or sisters. That relationship with the one you live, like you retired, or you're working part-time, sharing your world is a big deal. And so what Shannon realizes is most of his friends, like one of his best friends is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders been married maybe 2 or 3 times, right? Steve Harvey been married 4 times. Why do people do it if it's so bad? I'm just being honest. All right. People are looking for strong, healthy connection. So, men, if you're watching this, so first thing is healthier. All right. We're covering should married men, especially older, consider getting married. Number two, married men are actually happier, according to the research. Happier. Now, why? Why is that? Because one of the top 5 needs in a book called His Needs, Her Needs of men is having a recreational companion. All right, I think it's need number 2 when they rank order them. Number 1, of course, was sexual fulfillment. You want to get married to someone that you can, be with intimately. But number 2 desire of men was recreational companion, right? Now, women, you typically have more robust relationships than men. You have a bevy of girlfriends. I know not all of you, but a lot of women do, right? They say, I have this colleague, this friend, this aunt, this soror, this person in links or whatever you're in, 100 Black Women, whatever organization you're in, school, whatever, right? And men tend to be less social. Right, especially as they get older. Matter of fact, married men are typically pushed into social events by their wives, who tend to be more social. I'm generalizing, but I think that's safe to say in general. I'm not saying that's every marriage, is that specific. Do y'all get it? So they're happier because they're around more people. Right? When's the last time you've seen a single man host a Super Bowl party in his 50s? Late 40s. And that it happens. All right. But that's typically the wife. Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays. You're just doing things just because, celebrating his birthday and bringing friends and family together. They're happy because you're doing life. Right. When I go on vacation, it was the last time we took vacation. This was last year, the next to last day. Usher was in Vegas. Right. And all I saw was couples. I didn't see any single men at the Usher concert. I guess I wouldn't. But what I'm saying, they missed a hell of a concert. They missed a hell of a concert. Faith Evans was there. Miguel was there the night I went. I'm so glad we went the next to last night, because I did not want to see T.I. and Too Short with Usher. I'm not disrespecting T.I. or Too Short, right? I just want an R&B. I want an R&B show, y'all. And to get Faith Evans and Miguel, it was a plus. But it was nothing but lovers there. I was like, man, this is fun. This is fun being in Vegas with my wife, eating great food, listening to Usher, being one on one with her, going to nice restaurants, partaking in the gambling, right, and just doing different things. That was fun. That was fun. What am I supposed to do? I do like guys trips, but as I get older, how many 65-year-old men gonna be on a guys trip? I'm just being real, right? So you have someone to do life with, and when I sit down with men, I say, "What would make you happier in your marriage?" They say, "If my wife would do more fun things with me." How many of you see it? And y'all comment in the chat. How many of you see married women who enjoy sports or just enjoy being with their husband at sporting events, basketball games, football games, soccer games, right? Games for the kids, right? Being at concerts, right? Beyonce tickets go on sale. Is it today, tomorrow, depending on what city you're in? Husbands may go, or they just may purchase a ticket, or anyway. But if you're a Beyonce fan as well, right? You're gonna go to shows. You're gonna go to 112. You're gonna go see Usher together. You're gonna go see Jagged Edge. Obviously, I'm from Atlanta, right? You're gonna go see Sade, right? If you were in LA, and I used to live in LA, so I know it's a big deal. All right. Go to the Grammys if you are well connected. That's a good event. That's a good way to be well connected in the entertainment industry. You go together. I'm saying that's life. All right. So let me take some of these comments. Right. It says essentially he may have helped some woman dodge a bullet. Oh, responding to Shannon Sharp, but just men in general, not not dating someone that wasn't a priority. I think he did. I think that he probably did and failed and realized I'm just going to stay away from this. But here's what happens. Here's the reality. Shannon Sharp gonna get lonely. You think he's gonna touch himself at night? I'm not being graphic. I'm saying you think he's really gonna hug himself and have intimacy, have emotional intimacy and affection and connection and friendship by himself. You think that's gonna be replaced by having 10 or 11 women over the course of 10 years just come through as placeholders and you're not building anything? I can tell you from talking to men, it is unfulfilling. Maybe in your 20s, that's fun. Maybe in your 20s and 30s, all right? For men that are a little bit slow to the party, all right, or I want to enjoy life a little bit more, whatever case may be. Okay, all right, but as you get older, remember there's a lot of women that you could have married who are amazing, you bypassed. And now he's looking around and saying, wow, there's a lot of life I left on the table. My friends appear, while not having perfect marriages, tending to want to stay in them because they don't want to be single. Most married men I see will say, hey, there's some things I want to work on to improve the quality of my marriage, but I don't want to be single. I don't want to be single at all, right? Why would I want to be single and give up everything that I have, companionship, connection, health, continuity with my family, all these events. We know each other. We have a past, right? It's just anyway, it's just hard. It's just hard, right? It's just hard, right? So I'm telling you that married men actually want to get married. They actually say, "Well, who?" Or let me improve myself so I can succeed at marriage. Most men I know want to get married. They just doubt whether they can succeed at it, or they need to find the right one because men are less prone to settle, right? So it's real. It's real. Someone said this is a topic on Couples Academy, the need for touch, in our relationships, and it's not healing power. That's real, right? I think Couples Academy. That's Asani Pettiford and his wife, and they built up Couples Academy together, right, as a couple. All right. So it's real. And the last three things, and I'll take your questions. Yeah, I said happier, healthier, wealthier. Wealthier, right? Wealthier. That's a big one. Now, one, let's just do the math. Two incomes coming in and one set of bills, or one primary provider and someone supporting, typically the home. Either way you divide it, it just works out better, right? Because if one person who's out there just doing work and not taking care of home, home falls apart, right? And for the person who's at home, they're able to spend time on family if that's a higher priority and they're able to do that, right? Not have to work, then they're able to hold things together and be happier. Now I know over time people switch roles and things change and evolve, but that's two is better than one, for they get better return for their labor. That's right there. It's Ecclesiastes 4:9, right? That's one of my favorite Bible verses. Go back and look at Ecclesiastes verse 4:9 through 12, and it talks about the benefits of marriage family. All right, so you get it. So married men are happier, healthier, wealthier. That's a good deal. Did you know when men turn 40, most primary care physicians ask men who are single, are you planning on getting married? Isn't that an odd question for a primary care physician to ask, single men, especially men of color? All right. It's because around 40 is the time where a lot of men will begin to have their first major medical procedure. Might be a gallbladder removal. It might be, hey, we need to do some tests. It might be a scare with cancer. It might be high blood pressure. It could be anything. It could be gout. It could be all these things that come, we're getting old and older, not taking care of yourself, or just time and our history of not taking care of ourselves as people of color. Those things happen, right? And they know that someone at home who's caring for him is going to increase his longevity. Let's just keep it real. Someone that's going to make sure he does the follow-up appointments. Someone that's going to be there literally to help him out with walking. Right. A lot of men still try to play basketball in their late 30s and 40s, and ACL, MCL, break, sprain a knee, pull a hamstring, and they can't walk. Right. So you get what I'm saying? Happier, healthier, and wealthier. Right. And so, men, I'm just telling you, I want you to consider this. This is what's really happening in the suburbs. Suburbs is mostly married, 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 and same thing in the city. But especially in Atlanta, where it seems like it's okay to be single, you don't realize that each year there are men that are exiting stage right. saying stage left rather saying, no, I'm actually finna go. I'm gonna get married, right? I'm gonna find someone amazing, and I want to actually have a happy marriage. I'm not just getting a maid. I'm not just getting someone to combine wealth with, but I want to actually be good enough that they would consider marrying me, and we can do life together. We can be in the Poconos together. We can chart. I saw one of my friends. Um, Take her husband to Miami, right? And they are on a trip for his birthday, and they we rented a yacht. She had these nice little views. I was watching on Instagram, right? I'm not gonna say because I don't want to mention, because if she's out of town, I don't want anybody to run up on her spot, right? But yeah, and husband said, "Thank you, babe." She had packed his bags and everything. That man is in Miami experiencing life, nice restaurants, right? I've been to places I would have never gone on my own. Bali, Fiji, um, Costa Rica, crazy places my wife wants to go, but I can say I'm well traveled because of her. Right? Someone said it, marriage equals longevity. So I want to let y'all know. So here's the thing, ladies. As you're dating someone and they're in the late 30s, 40s, right? They want to get married. All right, they want to get married in general, right? In general. I'm not saying everyone. I am not naive. All right. Those brothers, you have to kind of let them go. You gotta let them be alone and on their own. Don't try to convince a man to get married. But I'm telling you, around late 30s, men start to get it. It starts to connect that they're the old single guy at the club. Where do you hang out? Everyone starts, the pressure now becomes on men. Are you ever gonna get married? The questions that y'all get in y'all's 20s and 30s, ladies, men start to get. When are you gonna settle down? Oh, you're not married. Even when they get corporate positions, there is an advantage. Companies can admit it, but they look for married men for stability. Like if you can lead your family and you can lead this company, especially if this company has family values. And I know that's not always the case, but I'm telling you, they look at it, right? Because a married man has more stability. Banks know that. A married man is going to get a different line of credit, all things considered. By and large, if he's married, because they know that man has to provide, has consistency, and has a woman in his corner who's going to help him, at least emotionally, in general. All right. And so the banks know that with women who are well connected, they know they're going to get a loan for, especially a woman of color, because she has a whole tribe of 15 women coming to her rescue, coming to her investment opportunities, coming to her support, coming to level her up, you get what I'm saying? Coming to be the team when they go from 1 million to 10 million. You know what I'm saying? They know that tribe is there, right? You one woman and open up a salon, that's 100 women coming through that salon supporting over time that are iterations of the 7 women that are there for her. All right. And so men need this. Most men look at Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama. Remember early on, they didn't even like Barack Hussein Obama. People were like, who is that? In the early caucuses, guess what? They like Michelle. Let's just talk about it. They like Michelle. What was it? The Iowa caucuses? They had Michelle. I read the book, right? They had Michelle at these political fundraisers. Barack was not at the ones Michelle was at. All right. She was there working the room because women said, I like Michelle. There is value. There is value. Ask LeBron, ask Steph, ask Barack, right? To having a quality woman by your side. I will not say their names, but the politicians who I know are single are actively looking for a good woman because it would enhance their brand and their overall happiness and joy to be at these functions and be able to have your better half to do life with and to be able to consult with and to be able to strategize with and to be able to laugh with when you're on business trips and you have someone to go with you and you can have dinner with your wife instead of working all the time. All right, getting caught up in temptation and traps. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, having a phenomenal woman by your side, the older you get, becomes an asset, right? Yeah, right. You said it. Leader for the People said President Obama admitted it. And thank you all for buying badges. I didn't know that was a thing, but I do now. I thank you all for your support, and I always want to give you, high quality value. So let me scroll back and see some of these questions, and I want y'all to ask. All right. Someone said that marriage equals longevity. That's right. We're talking about actual longevity, right? Did y'all know? Let me get deep. All right. Let me get deep. So I read a book called Ikigao, Ikigao. or OA. It's one of those ikigai. It's basically about centenarians, people who live to be 100, are people who live to be 100 plus. So centenarians and super centenarians. Century meaning 100, right? And they said that one of the keys to a long life, you see where I'm going, is being connected. So connectivity. And one of the central places to have connection as you get older, right? As you get older is with your wife, your spouse, right? And then that spouse is also going to typically keep you connected with family because they're doing get-togethers, right? Come over to the house. Let's connect. Let's have dinner. Let's have dinner parties. Let's go out. These play dates that women plan for us, right? So think about it. And then connection to the family. We have two families that come together. That's even more connection. Remember, at the wedding, the sides are typically on separated by a center aisle, but afterwards at the reception there's no aisle, so there's two families. So then you have two families that come and connect with you while you getting married. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's real. That's real. That's a lot to get, right? So you're connected to the community. You actually have someone to speak with. You can we contrast that to a 64-year-old man who's just retired from work and he comes home to nothing every day. He comes home to four walls coming. It could be he can have a house as big as Shaq, right? Like Shannon Sharp does. But what do you have? No one to share it with. If you have kids from a previous marriage or outside of marriage, right? They've gone on. By the time you're 55, they're either close to high school or they're already in college, depending on how late you have children. So you're by yourself. What man in his right mind wants to be alone from 55 to 75, 85, 95? We lucky enough to live that long. Come on, y'all. Do y'all understand? I'm telling you, young men, I tell you, you need to consider most of the men that you see that are doing it actually have help. They actually have a woman to go home to, especially if you pick a talented woman, a Proverbs 31 woman that can actually probably smarter than you. If you just want to be honest, smarter than you, right? That can help you strategize and can help you do life and enjoy life and have experiences and connect, so that the weekends are about you and family having a great time and doing wine tastings and going to sporting events and going to concerts and being foodies and are just dealing with life together. You could be sitting just watching, watching Godfather Harlem, right? That's one of my favorite shows. Y'all don't judge me. I love Forrest Whitaker. All right, let me take some of these comments and let y'all go, right? All right, so it says, someone says they're more likely to stay in that position to provide consistency of home, right? It's true. Female intuition is a game changer for men, just in general. All right, getting a talented woman in your corner is going to help your career. How many men, when they get an award, say, I first of all want to give honor and glory to God, and I also want to give thanks, sincere thanks to my wife, because if it weren't for my wife, I wouldn't be able to do this. Barack would not have been president of the United States. H.G. Russell would not have been able to build all that he has built. I heard Earl Graves at the same conference thank his wife, right? I'm just being honest, right? Even if they have multiple wives, they thank each one of them, all right, different phases, because they know, hey, how am I supposed to run a boardroom? Don't you understand? A woman understands the logistics of these things, especially one that's board savvy. I had to learn it the hard way. That the meeting agenda is and things that are gonna happen well before the board meeting starts, right? With phone calls and telephone. I learned that the hard way, right? So if you can, I'm just telling you, man, I just want to be part of the tribe of silent married men, because that's like my marriage is pretty good. Marriage is pretty good. It's a pretty good deal for us, right? You can't really come up to me and say, "Hey, Alduan, be single again." I don't want to do that. I've lived a nice and fulfilling life. I'll leave it like that. There's nothing that I haven't done before I got married. There's nothing. I know the grass is not greener because I was on the other side. I played in the grass, right? But I've always wanted to be relationship oriented, right? Someone says, I feel like some elders at my church will themselves to die because of the loneliness consumed them. I do. When you're losing a spouse, there's almost, I think I read a study that showed like within 24 hours, maybe a week, right, of spouse passing, heart attacks went up twofold for men, threefold for women. There is a cost to heartache, right, of losing someone you've been connected with. And anyone who's ever lost someone, I think you can understand. Right. And Teresa says marriage builds a better community. It does. It does not. I'm not saying all marriages are great. Listen, I have not always been in healthy relationships. I'm blessed to be in a loving marriage right now. It is a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, 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 because you only as good as the weakest link in your marriage. You can be a great person and be married to someone that's not good in marriage, and your marriage is gonna suck. It's just gonna be it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful, right? Unless that other person levels up. It's just hard. You can't will it. It's not like sports or business where you can have one person, do their thing and other things fail and you still be a rock star. In marriage, y'all have to be able to make that thing work together. I see someone else is a fan of Godfather Harlem. All right. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna take these questions. Y'all drop these questions, and we're gonna be out of here. Ikigai. Okay. Ikigai. Thank you, Telly. The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. I read that book because I have a 16, a 6, and a 1 year old, y'all. All right. And I want to be there not only to see my kids grow, I want to be there for a long time to see my grandkids. So if I'm doing the math, I need to be a centenarian, a super centenarian. And that's why y'all don't see me eating a bunch of junk. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do hookah. I don't do any of that stuff, right? I don't do that, right? Why? Trying to live a long and prosperous life, y'all. I'm just being honest, right? Someone said I built my home in East Coweta 15 years ago because the marital percentage was 87%. I knew that meant crime was less likely. So there it is. In these communities, right? In these communities, people know, right? There's a book called Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell that did a study that found out whenever the percentage of men tipped above, I think it's either 11 or 12% in a community, crime went down. And when they went to study, it's because men returning home and seeing mischief, kids fighting in the neighborhood, whatever, the presence of men deterred crime, but also those men pouring into the community, right? Especially in low income areas, right? Those men coming home saying, whoa, 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 y'all chill. Hey, you know what? Let's just throw the football. Hey, relax. Are people coming to the door to get the man to intervene? Something about having 11% men in a community. So that's right. All right, here's another question. Can a marriage be sustainable if the partner is more devoted to their career than their marriage? I'm going to say that it's very unlikely. Now, you may stay and be unhappily married, or like someone said yesterday, married but looking. That's an idea. Yesterday was funny. You can be married but looking, right? Looking for someone better, right? And as soon as they come along, all right, I'm out, right? But I'm not going to leave something terrible for nothing. But I will leave something terrible for something great, right? So one of the things is letting them know and say, hey, you know what? Your career is going to suffer if we get a divorce because I'm just going to get half. So why not focus on all things? Why not focus on the and? Don't make work an or. God can do all things. I can do all things, which strengthens me, right? I can do all things, which strengthens me, all right? So that means all things. So that means that we can have balance at work. It is not a myth. You have to schedule it, right? I'm not saying it's easy, all right? But you can have time with your wife, time with the kids, time at work, time for yourself, right? Hobbies, schedule it, rest and sleep, study it, right? Study how people do it and then do it. So it is hard to have a marriage where you're being ignored because marriage is not just about working, but we make it that way, don't we? Don't we? And this could be men and women, but especially men. And I have to work. I have to provide. But what about providing presence? What about providing quality time? What about providing attention? What about providing sex? If you come home tired all the time and your libido is low, how's that gonna help your marriage? Right? I mean, you're mad when another man is texting your girl, right? I'm just being honest. Make it easier. Make it easier being present, right? Be in the same city. I know you're getting all these raises and going different cities, but at some point, time out unless your wife is down with that, right? Your husband is down with that. So let's focus on the marriage too, work and marriage. Provide finances and quality time. Benefits and 401k and sexual intimacy. Provide access and equity and real estate opportunities and stocks and all that kind of stuff that y'all built up together and build legacy, but also allow your kids to be a chip off the old block because the block is home. Come on, y'all. How many successful people do you know that have killing it at work, but their family life is absolutely in disarray, and it's only because of neglect? It's not talent. It's only because of neglect. There is a cost to pay when we're not home for our families, right? Someone said, why do most successful, high quality men not want to settle down? All right. That is a myth. most successful, high quality men do settle down. They're just silent in the media. Most men past 50 are married, right? When you look at the single men versus married men, they're married. And most men who are affluent are actually married, right? All right. What I think that comes from is people saw kind of the Kevin Samuel who became a symbol for someone who they thought had high net worth, who did not. All right, but certainly looked the part. May he rest in peace. But he was loud for that community. But when men watched it, if you look at the numbers, most successful, high quality men are married. They're married. I'm just being honest, right? If And I see a lot of NBA athletes. You'd be surprised how many of them actually come into the league with a steady girlfriend and marry early on. And I'm not saying they're most successful; they're definitely affluent, right? But what I'm saying is most men. Would y'all agree? First of all, it's wealthier. There's two incomes. Like, let's think about it. If I have two incomes coming in, guess what? I can pop $25,000 down on this venture capital deal. I can go buy SpaceX. I can invest in Ring Camera. I can invest in all these things that are coming down the pipeline. I can do some real estate. I can flip. I can get some stocks. I can get in crypto. All these things I can do without worrying about paying the bills because I have disposable income. Disposable income, right? So we're able to actually help one another. And sister girls able to do the same thing. Matter of fact, it's mostly black women that's actually getting into the venture capital space because they have all this disposable income, right? Well, imagine if two of y'all came together. Like when you sit down with a financial planner, she's gonna talk about your net worth, your combined net worth, what you can do together, right? How y'all can split deals. You can put one in this credit, one in that credit, right? It's just better, right? It's just real, right? So just remember that. Most of my male friends are single with no plans of getting married. I thought they were selfish, right? Well, when you look at it, I would guess at least a third to half of those men are going to consider getting married. And when you look at those men don't look as good as married men. I put it out there. I said it. They don't. They just age. They don't have the value. There is a value to a woman. All right. When you look at married men, and a wife pretty much is taking care of that man. And I don't mean like being his maid or anything. Y'all know I'm very progressive. I'm talking about basically making sure that that man's body mass is where it needs to be, making sure that man is eating right, making sure that that man is coming off his blood pressure pills, making sure that that man is sitting down listening to a webinar on how to live healthier and happier and having D3 in his system. All right, during COVID, right, and what the formative doctors are saying, and making sure that he's traveling and his mind is staying sharp, right, and he's staying connected, and he's doing the things to make sure that his joints don't get. I'm just being honest, y'all. All right, so what you gonna see? All right, and remember that most married men are at home, so you don't see them publicly. You'll see them in the workforce, but you don't necessarily see them out at the club. So it's really easy to get biased if you're a single woman and saying, "Look, all these men in here don't want to get married, right?" Because you're looking at the networking event, or you're looking probably at a club, right? Because networking event would be just as many married men, probably more married men than single, right? Especially the older the room. But like at a club or something like that, married men are home. I'm just being honest. They home. They are home. So you don't see them. But we are the majority. We're the majority. When you think about how miserable an old lonely man is, that's pitiful. It's pitiful, man. It's sad to me. It's like, brother, are you sure you didn't want to settle down? But you could have had so much higher quality. And I know I'm generalizing. I'm not saying if you're single, something's wrong with you. I'm just simply making the case because y'all see it made the other way that as a man, especially if you're over 35, 40, I want you to seriously consider marriage, getting better at marriage, getting better at being a married partner, right? I don't want you to fail at it. Just be better. Just be better at it, right? All right, let's see. Is there a difference in the mindset of single men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s? Absolutely. However, I've seen men who settle down in their 20s, right? I've never, even though I've had a rich life. I used to live in Inglewood, y'all. I had some money. Whew, it's a good life. I love California. Anyway, I still was in a relationship. I still was in a relationship, y'all. Now, I did play, don't get me wrong, but I've always been relationship oriented. And you don't see a lot of those men being represented in the media. But I have friends that married in their young 20s, always wanted to get married, right? Stayed married, right? So I think that the older men get 20s, 30s, and 40s, men start to think about marriage even more because look at it. I mean, if you're able to keep your family together, so you're able to get married and have your family in one house, or if you even if you're married and divorced, you're able to blend, you're able to blend families. But imagine never getting married and never living with the mother of your children and not having a nuclear family. You see what I'm saying? That weighs on men, right? And so it's like, okay, what quality of life do your children have? If you know, like Nick Cannon doesn't have a high quality of life, right? I mean, Mariah just filed for sole custody because she said she's tired of kids being disappointed. Not that Nick is not a great father, it's just that he can't be around that much because he has to be a great father to so many kids, right? That's not what you want. That's not what he wants. It's hard to be able to raise your children. You can't be present. At least on a schedule, even if you've been divorced, if you don't have that set schedule, even if you have to go do the summers and breaks, if you don't have you never have your kids at home with you with a mom or a bonus mom or a bonus father. You never have that. That's a lot for men to go through life and not have. All right, so y'all got it. I'm just making a case. I'm just making a case that y'all don't see for married men, for men getting married, right? Someone says marriage is working. Yes, it doesn't have to be hard if it's with the one you enjoy being around. And let me be honest, y'all. Y'all know, if y'all haven't checked it out, A Weekend for Love. Go to weekendforlove.com right now and get your tickets for the Love Lab, which is on this Friday, having an over-the-top date event for couples, for married couples, or if you're engaged or seriously dating, no one on their first couple of dates. All right, it's called Married Community. Go to weekendforlove.com. We have luxury marriage retreats, but we're also doing a local event here in Atlanta called Love Lab. We have drinks on us, desserts. I don't drink, but y'all will, right? Search, drinks, ambiance. Okay, just come on out, have a good time. Y'all just have a good time, right? Yeah. So, all right, I think that's all the questions, unless I missed them. Someone said, "Look at Jalen Hurts." That's right, coach. Quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, married to a black woman. I just want to say that I'm not knocking you. I don't care what relationship y'all in. I'm just pro-black. I'm not anti anything except anti-devil. I am anti-devil. I'm pro God. So pro God does put me in the anti category, but not like you think. Not the judgment of people. I'm just saying pro God. All right. Church gets a bad rap for that. All right. So Jalen Hurts, look at him, young in his career, has a wife at home saying, "Hey, he's not out in these streets. I don't think." All right. But baby, hey, you can do it. That's that validation. You see what I'm saying? Let's build together and have a family. All right. Patrick Mahomes is married now. Different dynamics, different racial makeup, but they're both married and they're both black quarterbacks. It's starting in the NFL Super Bowl for the first time. Right. Quick question: how can a single person position themselves for a healthy marriage? One, have a high standard for whom you date. Jalen's not married. We need to marry that girl then. Thank you. Love is the key. Out here spreading false rumors. Maybe I'm prophetic. You know what I'm saying? He need to marry her. She looks like a good woman. Is that her? Is that their child in the picture that I saw? So let me know. All right. So maybe but Jalen Hurts is young, but hopefully he marries her. Right. Maybe it's a matter of time. Maybe it's one of those things. Right. But he has one by his side, a steady girlfriend, if that's correct. Y'all correct me. I know I don't keep up with the pop culture, and unless it's in good taste, I try not to bring up negative people, even with Nick Cannon. I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying. I just want to make the standard known that that's not the standard, right? So if you can position yourself for marriage by knowing a lot and having a high standard for men and dating someone who cares a lot about marriage, cares about making marriage work. And the number one thing you're looking for is a woman, because that question came from a woman, is looking for a man who's influenceable, right? Looking for a man who's influenceable, meaning like he's coming in like, yeah, I'm willing to be open to being influenced. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to adapt, right? If we don't adapt, we die. So men that say you can't change me, that's not a good person to be married to, because that's pretty much what a relationship is about: adapting and changing to one another. All right. Someone says Showtime Graces. I don't believe that you have to be married to be happy. I agree with that. The research agrees with that. You can be married, you can be happily single, But in order to be happily single, you have to have robust relationships, right? So that means that you can't be lonely. So that means by robust, that means that you have a diverse set of friends that you can go do life with. You can go travel with someone. You can go to workshops with someone. You can go exercise with someone. You can go to dinner with someone. You can have someone come over and watch Godfather Harlem with you. So you're never lonely. You have people, relationships that you can pull on. And that's why men tend to get married, because they tend not to have robust relationships like women do. And as men get older, especially when they start retiring out of the workforce, that work family's gone. And a lot of men don't make it. They don't. Not without their wife, not without their family, right? And so it's important that you have those relationships in place. It is better to be happily single than unhappily married. All right, so let me be clear. All right, so Showtime Graves, thanks for saying that. And I'll be honest. A lot of people say, I don't marriage is hard work because it takes your priorities, but it's actually easier than being single if you don't want to be single, right? It's not even comparison, right? Yeah, you do have to be on the same page. You do have to grow together. You do have to manage adjustments. You do have to manage hard times together. You have to also celebrate the wins and have fun and have celebrations and come together and see kids get married and go to the Poconos and all these places that y'all post on Instagram. Yeah, that's a fun thing. It's an amazing thing. But if you don't want to be single, married is better, right? Right. So there's a lot of happily married men that just don't talk about it. Too busy being at home eating cherry pie, right? So, all right, someone says she's not married yet, but she's very smart and will be great for Jalen. I agree. If I were to consult with Jalen, I said, if she's a good one, brother, go ahead and pop the question, but not until you're ready. Not until you're ready, because a woman like that, if he does not get serious with her, she ain't gonna wait. She gonna be on to the next. Because maybe Jalen's great because of her. Maybe Barack is great because of Michelle. That's what he said. Maybe Steve Harvey's brand has elevated because of Marjorie. Let's just keep it real. Remember the toupees? Remember those baggy suits? Now that man is a fashion icon. Steve Harvey, y'all. Steve Harvey. And I know the family, so I'm not gonna disrespect him, but I'm saying, not but, period. I'm saying the you can see the impact she has had on his life. This man now vacations. This man is now health conscious. This man does not believe in a grind mentality. This man has a great team. And Steve Harvey was a great businessman before that. But I would imagine, outside looking in, Marjorie coming in has helped him. Beyonce has helped Jay-Z. Even Keisha has helped Gucci Man. Yeah, I went there. Gucci Man ain't been in jail since Keisha said you're going to take your medicine, get yourself right, and transfer business assets over to business responsibilities. We're going to do this together. Right? Y'all get it. Y'all get it. I can only imagine. Y'all. So let's just make sure y'all understand that there is a benefit to marriage. So as we wrap up, married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier. Happier because they have someone to do life with, and they are healthier because they go to the doctor. And women tend to stay on top of your health. A partner, accountability partner. And they are wealthier because you typically have two incomes coming in, or at least partnership if there's one income, making sure that your professional and your personal life all thrive and have an impact. All right. So I love you guys. Make sure you check out A Weekend for Love this Friday. Get your tickets. This is, I believe, the last day, either today or tomorrow. All right. We are going to sell out. We always sell out. Glory be to God, because there is a hunger for couples to be around other happy couples. So go to aweekendforlove.com and get your tickets for Love Lab this Friday. And for those of you, I think we have maybe 4 spots left for our international marriage retreat. Y'all want to do it big. You want to do it right. You want to travel together. This year it's in Mexico. So check it out. It's in October. Just go to A Weekend for Love and check it out and run it by your spouse. Right. And we'll see you there. All right. So thank you. Thank you for y'all's love. All right. Let me pray. Lord God, we thank you for today. We thank you, Lord, for being able to highlight marriage, Lord, to be able to at least have a different conversation, to even talk about how to be happily single and use relationships for that to be able to work and make sure that they're diverse enough for us to not be lonely. Lord God, we know it's loneliness is the devil's playhouse. When we sit around and we don't want to be there, that's how we go dark. It's actually a punishment in jail. Solitary confinement is a punishment. It is not good for the psyche. So, Lord God, we just ask and pray anyone who's watching this that we debunk the myth that men should not get married. We debunk the myth that men are not getting married. We debunk the myth that older men are not majority married and most successful, whatever you want to qualify that as successful. I would say happier, healthier, and wealthier counts, are married, and that the men that are actually looking at this actually consider this and actually have no regrets. I see a lot of men who have regrets at 65, 55, like Shannon Sharp, and says, maybe I want to share my world with someone. Maybe I didn't consider the quality of my life when I'm by myself and growing old and lonely. Oh, Lord God, Lord. So I just ask and pray that you have relationships and love flow. These things we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen. All right. I'll see you guys on Wednesday and Friday. All right. Remember, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. For the most part. All right. As I have like a meeting or something, or I get pulled into a client meeting or something like that, I'm doing these lives for you all. All right. So tell people about me. Share this live. I love y'all. Take care. God bless. Take care.